Misty Johnson. I'm the education coordinator at the Zanesville Museum of Art, but in my free time, I like to make pottery. So I just wanted to do a quick pottery wheel demonstration for you today. I work out of my basement, so you might hear some basement sounds here and there. This is the first video I've ever done, so welcome. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is what's called centering the clay. This is about a 2-pound ball of clay, and what I want it to do is, if you can see my hands are wobbling all around, I want to make that stop. And I'm not just throwing clay on the floor over here. I actually have a scrap bag because clay is recyclable until it's fired. So I save all my scraps and use them again. It's almost there. Alright, so the next step is actually opening up this ball of clay, and I use my thumbs for that, and just press gently, and then create a hole there. You want to make sure you don't go too far, because then your pot won't have a bottom. Now I'm just going to open it up a little more. Now I'm just compressing the bottom here. That can prevent cracks later as it's drying. All right. And so I'm just going to be making a simple vase form. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to bring all this clay and make it a little bit taller. So I'm going to just squeeze and draw the clay up. I just keep doing that until it's as thin as I want. And so now I have a basic cylinder, and that's when I can decide what kind of shape I want to turn it into. I'm gonna do a little cleanup here. Sponge out the middle. If you notice, I've got some air bubbles in here, and that can cause problems later. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop it, poke little holes in those. And then smooth it back out. All right, so now we can shape it. I like to use this rubber rib tool here, because that not only cleans off your pot, but you can do some shaping at the same time. So I'm just gently pressing out from the inside of the pot and stabilizing it with this rib. And then when I get up here, I push in with the rib and steady it with my inside hand. And so now we have a basic vase form. One of the things I like to do is get some of this extra clay off the bottom, because that's less work I'll have to do later. All right, so now what I want to do is I like to add some textures to my pieces. So I have a bunch of different tools that I use to do that. This one's one of my favorites. And while it's spinning, I just make some marks. And it's really fun to do textures, because then when you put your glaze on later, it has nice areas to pool and drip through, and it just, to me, it's a lot more interesting than just a plain smooth pot. And then another way you can use a tool like this is to create bands. So sometimes I like to come in and just make a nice clean start to finish for my area of texture. And now that I have all my texture on there, I'm going to do the finish work on my rim. I have this little piece of chamois cloth, I think that's what it's called, but it's just a really soft cloth, and I get it wet. I just smooth out the rim. And with this one, I think I'm going to make a scalloped rim. And so that's a really simple process. It just adds a little bit of interest to the top of your pot. And so I just use my fingers to pinch out little areas of clay. And there we have the finished vase.